Welcome to Nature's Neighbor on AM 1230 KPRL. Nature's Neighbor. We're live and local and all about living sustainably right here on the Central Coast.
Good afternoon, Central Coast. This is your host, Melanie Blankenship, sitting in KPRL studio with my boy, Chad Stevens, ready to ask questions, answer the phones for all those gardening, food, farming questions that are going on out there. But I'm here to talk about weather. Yay, we got some rain. How exciting is that?
It's about time.
Oh my goodness. And this area is so beautiful, but we left Templeton, pouring rain. Mm-hmm. Literally rain gutters gushing out muddy water because of how dirty they were. And to come to Paso with that broken up skies, and certain areas in Paso are getting those little thunderstormy kind of things, but it's warmer here than it is in Templeton, and literally just drove, 10 minutes to get here? I mean, that's how lucky we are to have all this different, diverse. I mean, we were getting dumped on in Templeton. It was really exciting, really rewarding, because thank God the dust is gone. Because I didn't think I could possibly dust anymore. I think we actually maybe put a little dent in that conquering of that dust with that type of rainstorm that we had. And so all those people that are out there, let's talk weather, let's talk what does this bring now? This is literally what we've all been kind of waiting for, is that transition, that change that we have been waiting for, and a little bit of measurable rain is what sets us off for that. And so here we are. This is the time now where the ground is needing to be cleaned. This is when the ground is needing to be, opened a little bit, let oxygen flow in to be able to conquer those weed seeds, conquer the bad bugs that lay their eggs in the soil. For instance, the African beetle, also known as the green ladybug, that loves to skeletonize all our tender, soft, leafy greens that are in the middle of summer. They thrive in above 72-degree temperatures, so they're not going to be prevalent during the winter garden. Plus, they like high, rich, nitrogen-fixed plants. But so our wintertime crops don't thrive in that. So this time of the year, you're not going to see them as much. But this is the time of the year when we combat the population for next year. This is why we farm the way we do. We farm biodynamically. We look at what we have and how to work within our own means and keep it simple. And so this is why gardening is a 24/7, 365-day job. And we do rest at times, but that's when we have to know when we need to rest and when we need to get on it. Because if we don't get on it, we're going to have to deal with the African beetles in the following season. Okay, so if we're battling them now, what do we do? You open the soil. We need to, now that we're getting a little bit of rain, it's going to be a little easier to get into that concrete-like soil that we've been exposed to. This is the time we open it up and allow the oxygen and the cold to get in there. These bugs lay their eggs in the soil, so therefore exposing the soil to the cold and to the oxygen is what's going to combat or kill their eggs. So therefore they can't, because the adults have laid their eggs, and once the adults have laid their eggs, they die. So they're not going to be thriving this time of the year. And so this is our time to be able to combat. Also, opening up the soil and getting the oxygen and the cold in there also combats a lot of weed seeds. But the biggest trick to farming and gardening right now is cleaning. The fall is all about cleaning and organizing and feeding and getting ready for the winter time, which if you're in anywhere else like California, you're going to be layered in snow, so therefore you have to go dormant or you hibernate. California, we don't understand what that means. That means just we go to Cayucas in January to warm up a little bit. So that's, this is more of my beach time than I get any other time of the year. But this is the time of the year that we are working on making farming easier for us during the summer and springtime planting. But also, this is the time of the year when cover cropping is being planted. Now that we got the little bit of moisture, the ground is easier to open up. Seeds are going to be able to germinate a little easier. They're not going to sit dormant as long, because the warm, dry soil allows the seeds to just kind of sit there a little bit. You can keep watering, yes, but they're not going to thrive like they are now with this type of moisture and potentially cooler climates coming. The next couple of days, rule of thumb, guys out there that are trying to prolong their summer garden, usually you can get away with protecting your crops from a frost when cloud cover is present. You usually won't get a good ground frost when we have a little bit of cloud cover. So watching weather and paying attention to what's going on right now is key to keeping your summer garden going as long as we possibly can. They are showing temperatures, the forecast is the forecast, and you've got to understand where you live or where you're farming, because just like what I explained on just coming from Templeton to Paso and the drastic temperature change, and we were getting a little more rain than Paso is, just that difference right there can make a huge difference if you're trying to prolong your summer garden. And why I say this is because the forecast is only calling for 36-degree nighttime temperatures. But that doesn't mean that it's only going to be 36 degrees in those low-lying areas. There's places in Creston that have already seen frost. They're seeing the light layer of frost on the top layer of the soil, but that's enough to kill tomatoes. That's enough to kill cucumbers, and so if you want to prolong those, just keep in mind that just know your soil, know your area. Cloud cover usually protects us a little bit from frost, but the other thing that also protects us now is keeping the soil moist. Frost happens harder when soils are drier. And so keeping a little bit of moisture. Also, too, we're back to covering our crops. In the beginning of spring, when we jump ahead a little bit and we all plant our crops a little earlier to try to get a jump start on our summer crops, this is the time of the year, too, where we might need to go out usually about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and start to cover our crops to be able to protect them from that frost so we can prolong our harvest. And this is also one more thing to keep in mind. This is also that time when we should be going out and cleaning out our summer garden, meaning grab all those tomatoes that are starting to slightly turn color but maybe haven't fully ripened, harvest them out, bring them inside. They will continue to ripen in a warm kitchen. Also, make sure to pick the pretty one, the one that doesn't have any splitting or sunburning or cracking, and put it in a good ceramic or glass bowl with some good, a good cheesecloth material or something that can breathe kind of material over the top, because you don't want to watch what's going to happen, and or you want to try to prevent any fungal gnats to get inside your house. But let's keep these tomatoes or vegetables that you're taking out of your garden at a good consistent 65-degree temperature, and let it rot. This is the time when we are all about saving seeds. It's very important in today's society that when we have something good, let's preserve it, prolong it, and keep it carrying on. And so this is the time of the year when we are doing all of that. So cleaning. Did you have a question?
I do. So normally I would take the tomato that's not in good shape, and that would be the one that I would try and get the seeds from. But you're saying the healthiest tomato will give us the best seeds.
More than likely, you're going to get good seed in the split or the sunburned or, the not so pretty one. Mm-hmm. But the chances of that carrying on, whatever caused that sunburning or whatever caused that splitting, we don't want to carry that on into our garden. We want to carry on the strong. We want to carry on the healthy ones. And so that's where I go through and clean our garden. And, after a couple weeks, those tomatoes, I'm using tomatoes as an example because I know a majority of us all have tomatoes in our garden. But, it works this way with a lot of vegetables. And by letting that rotting process feeds your seeds. Also, rotting is also another form of pasteurization, or also known as cleaning. And so you have a better chance of not carrying on bacteria or certain types of viruses by allowing those vegetables to rot. All that sugar turns into a good bacteria that actually helps feed the seeds. There's been many times where I've taken and sliced a tomato, ate half of it, and then saved the other seeds. And then I go in and I'll try to grow those seeds. Well, they will germinate. They'll, grow into green. But I don't get a really good production of fruiting from them. They weren't strong enough to actually fruit. And also I have seen some bacteria transfer that way as well, where when I let it completely rot and let it go through the hairy green and good smelling and and those little flies that are flying around, that is not a bad bug. It's fungal gnat is what it is. And they're feeding on the fungus and they're keeping the fungus going, and it's all in the sense of a system and a cycle, and everybody's kind of surviving off each other and feeding each other and letting the composting happen. And so they, once it fully liquefies, you're going to have, quite a few seeds in the bottom of that bowl, and air dry it. Put it in paper and keep it at an even temperature and save it for your next gardening season. And that is how we continue to carry it on. This is the time of the year where I find more people are not wanting to think so much about gardening. And this is my time of the year where I'm saying this is a crucial time of the year to be able to carry it on. And yes, you're talking to a nursery grower, you're talking to a seed grower. So of course I want you to always rely on me to be able to come in and buy my stuff. But at the same time, my goal at Nature's Touch is to, yes, I can do it for you, but let's do it together and look at the variety, look at the amount of people that we can feed. So let's do this together. Here we are on our first break. Give us a call at KPRL with your questions, comments, and concerns. I want to talk about water, too, a little bit. And also, don't forget about our Thanksgiving turkeys. I want to continue that conversation. 238-5775, 238-KPRL. Welcome back to our little second half of our Nature's Neighbor show here on KPRL. Again, if you guys have any questions or comments that you want to share with Nature's Neighbor here, give us a call, 238-5775 or 238-KPRL. I am Melanie Blankenship, the owner of Nature's Touch Nursery and Harvest in beautiful downtown Templeton. And when we left off, I kind of threw out that this is going to be the last week, more than likely, that we will probably have turkey deposits accepted. We're starting to get to that final number of all the count to have your freshly harvested, all open pasture, all fed, non-GMO, organic feed turkey for your Thanksgiving dinner. They are absolutely beautiful. We have a variety that we're being raised right now. It's Island Palm, and then also we'll have a little bit of Narragansets, and I also have some Bourbon Bronze turkeys available as well. These are all heritage breeds. What is a heritage breed? Heritage breed is a variety that has to date back at least 50 years or more with no change. It's a breed that you carry on because it's the stronger, it's the healthier, and it seems to thrive. We did the Island Palm breed this year because of cosmetic reasons, but it's still a heritage breed. It still dates back just as long as any of the other ones. And so cosmetic is just the way that they dress out, and they have white feathers instead of black feathers, and so they look a little prettier in a package. So they're beautiful birds, healthy. I'm excited. This is probably one of our better years of raising turkeys. The last couple of years we had some struggles on health reasons. It wasn't strong. The feed wasn't as good a quality as it is this year. We have a lot more variety when it comes to finding non-GMO feed. So see what happens when we start demanding and start requesting and following through and understanding what we're asking for. We've been working on that project for about 5 years, and finally I can actually say that we have a good selection of non-GMO. I'm never going to say it's cheap because it's never has been, nor do I expect that it's going to be. And it's also kind of a sad thing when you try to figure out what is the definition of cheap. Yes, there's more, cheaper and pricing feeds available out there, but to know exactly what's in that bag of feed is more important to me than the price. I know I need to stay within a budget. I know how to continue the life form of this turkey and raise it quality, but I would rather have less amount, good quality, good health, transparency in our food than to not know what's really in our food. So that is how we raise these turkeys. They're all open pastured, meaning they're just free ranging, cruising around, being birds, and so they are, quality of life is what we're going to have for your Thanksgiving bird. So that is this week. So contact Nature's Touch Nursery and Harvest in downtown Templeton if you want to get on the deposit list. Literally, they are going to be raised all the way up until the Sunday before the Thursday of Thanksgiving. They will go into the plant on Monday and be harvested and processed and inspected by USDA Monday and Tuesday, available for pickup Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday inside our store. So never frozen, never changed. They're inspected, refrigerated. That's it. So that is what our Thanksgiving birds are all about. Also, too, guys, if there's a special item that you're going to need for Thanksgiving, like organic green beans, truly 100% honest, no nitrate fertilizer ever used green beans. Now's the time to start asking for that, because with this weather and the cold climates starting to come upon us, green beans are not going to be as readily available as they are right now. So first come, first serve is kind of the motto in our store, and so you gotta let us know. If we know we have it available for you and you need it, we'll make sure you guys have it and help coordinate your dinner a lot easier with making sure that it's all the same, honest, transparent, good, ethical food that you can provide for your friends and family for Thanksgiving.
Now, in getting the turkeys, you have to put a deposit down to get the turkey. Can they do that online, or do they need to go into the store?
They need to call us at area code 805, of course, 434-3062. You can always email me, nature'stouch@sbcglobal.net, and then we'll contact you by that, or just come into the store and put it down. Yes, we can take credit cards over the phone and do that transaction through that. So yes, you don't have to come into Templeton right this very second. And yes, I have a lady that's coming down to spend time with her family, and she's in Seattle, Washington. She called us and put a deposit down on her turkey to be able to feed her family a turkey from right here. So it's pretty exciting when that goes on. So yeah, you don't have to come into Templeton yet. The phone call, email is the best way. We have a beautiful website, but it's not active enough to be able to do transactions over it. Plus, too, I want to be able to ask, what size approximately. We want to be able to accommodate, again, that same situation. First come, first serve. So the people that are asking for the more common sizes are going to be 14 to 16 pounds. That is a common size, so it's going to be going down the list. First come, first serve is how it's going to be. We're going to have quite a few birds, though, this year that are going to be in the 20 pound range. And, that's the fun part. I don't know very many people that can handle a 25 to 26 pound bird, so we actually harvested a little earlier. So we actually have a couple of those turkeys left that we're making a special deal on right now that we have harvested earlier, because if we would have waited out, they would have gotten 26 to 30 pounders.
And you would have had leftovers till Christmas.
Well, that, or you need a forklift to put it in your oven. So, that's what this warm, dry weather has brought, is these turkeys have just continued to grow and move and create muscle and create really healthy, beautiful meat. And so right now also, too, inside Nature's Touch, Nature's Food, which is my licensed kitchen and eatery in there, we're making turkey pot pies, we're making turkey soup, we're making hot turkey sandwiches, our style of hot turkey sandwiches. And so literally you can walk in our store right now and eat these turkeys too. Our deli is all about everything fresh, everything just in season. We made some pumpkin soup this morning, so that's available in our grab and go. And speaking of pumpkin, people ask that question constantly about pumpkins. So all of you guys out there that have been buying pumpkins for your decoration for your Halloween, understand that's food. So please don't let it go to waste. Let's figure out how we can utilize that and eat that. If you haven't carved into it, understand that most pumpkins, or also known as winter squash, have at least a 9-month shelf life. So just remember, that is food too, the best source of potassium that you can get than anything else out there in the middle of winter. So there's a lot of nutrient-dense food inside that pumpkin. So please try not to waste it. Let's utilize it. But I also wanted to let you know that Home Ec Express is a company that is owned by my really good friend Jamie Umfenauer. She is putting on November 10th, she's putting on Beyond the pumpkin pie cooking class to be able to give you some varieties of how and what to do with those winter squashes. So know to contact homeecexpress.com. Get your tickets. The cooking class is going to be inside Nature's Touch and using all of our ingredients to do the cooking class. But it's awesome because how many people know that you can, just cut into your winter squash, scoop those seeds out raw if you wanted to, cube it out, stir fry that pumpkin. It's so good with a little bit of fresh thyme, olive oil, onions, and garlic. Serve that over brown rice or maybe a little sauteed greens. Yum. And so most people think of that pumpkin, they think of pumpkin pie or, that kind of thing. Let's think a little beyond. And Jamie does some amazing recipes. She's an incredible teacher. So let's join her on November 10th. But check out her website, homeecexpress.com, and come and join us. That is a paid class, but just also keep in mind, she just texted me, November 16th. I'm giving out the wrong date. November 16th is the date for the cooking class. But the second Wednesday of every month inside Nature's Touch at 5:30, Jamie also does a free cooking class on that evening just to inspire you to cook seasonally. So we don't set a menu like the one beyond the pumpkin pie. We actually just do a variety of what's in season, what's just harvested, and also are available for all your questions that pertain to seasonal foods. And so here we are again. So November 16th is Beyond the Pumpkin Pie cooking class, Home Ec Express. Check it out. This goes by so fast. So thank you so much for your continued support out there, you guys. Don't forget about your turkey deposits. Get out there and enjoy this beautiful weather that we just had. And clean, organize, and get ready for your fall crops. Yay. Thank you to the rain.
All right.
Have a very good week, you guys.
Nature's Touch, 225 South Main Street in Templeton. You can give them a call at 434-3062. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sunday from 10 to 3 p.m. Thanks for tuning in to Nature's Neighbor with Melanie Blankenship.